President Donald Trump announced the long-awaited Liberation Day reciprocal tariffs, imposing a minimum of 10% tariffs on all countries and additional levies on approximately 60 nations deemed the worst offenders. Now, during the address, President Trump displayed a chart listing the countries subject to higher tariffs, with China and European Union and Vietnam facing rates at 34%, 20%, and 46% respectively. Other nations including Japan, South Korea, India, Cambodia, and Taiwan will be hit with import duties of 24%, 25%, 26%, 49%, and 32% respectively. Trump's administration previously announced a 25% tariff on all imported vehicles, and auto parts goes into effect today.
A discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%. We're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it.
Well, still staying with Trump's new tariff, Australia's Prime Minister, Mr. Anthony Albanese, has condemned the latest round of tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, describing them as totally unwarranted and not the act of a friend. His comments comes in response to the United States' newly announced 10% baseline tariffs in all imports, a move that has further escalated global trade tensions. All Australian exports will be impacted by the minimum baseline tariffs applied to the rest of the world, with beef and agricultural industry set to be particularly impacted due to increased exposure.
For Australia, these tariffs are not unexpected. But let me be clear, they are totally unwarranted. President Trump referred to reciprocal tariffs. A reciprocal tariff would be 0, not 10%. The administration's tariffs have no basis in logic, and they go against the basis of our two nations partnership. This is not the act of a friend.
We have a fair and balanced trade relationship with the US. Negotiations on an economic prosperity deal, one that strengthens our existing trading relationship. They continue, and we will fight for the best deal for Britain. Nonetheless, I want to be clear. I will only strike a deal if it is in our national interest, and if it is the right thing to do for the security of working people, protects the pound in their pocket that they work so hard to earn for their families. That is my priority.
The European Commission's President, Ursula von der Leyen, has described the US President Donald Trump's universal tariffs as a major blow to not just the EU but the world's economy, and said the European Union is prepared to respond with countermeasures if negotiation failed. According to her, the consequences will be there for millions of people and businesses around the globe.
President Trump's announcement of universal tariffs on the whole world, including the European Union, is a major blow to the world economy. I deeply regret this choice. Let's be clear-eyed about the immense consequences. The global economy will massively suffer. Uncertainty will spiral and trigger the rise of further protectionism. The consequences will be dire for millions of people around the globe, also for the most vulnerable countries, which are now subject to some of the highest US tariffs, the opposite of what we wanted to achieve. The tariffs will also hurt consumers around the world. It will be felt immediately. Millions of citizens will face higher grocery bills, medication will cost more, as well as transportation. Inflation will go up. And this is hurting in particular the most vulnerable.